Hi, everybody. How are you?
So good.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Kato. Hi, Desi.
I love that we have to pretend that we're just singing.
This is the first time. We had not even... We closed our eyes walking up the stairs.
You guys just popped into
It's like... Zoom,
my house.
Wouldn't it be so great? Oh
Bro,
my
if I
gosh,
could
would
teleport-
love that.
I would just be like, I'm at school.
Well, like,
I'm home.
Harry Potter, that's what they do.
Yeah. If I could have a Harry Potter thing, you know which one I want? That Hermione one that she, like, goes back in time and does multiple things at the same time. I
That
feel
could
like...
get toxic, though, I feel.
Oh, it would... But I would also, like, gym and nap at the same time. Isn't that the
Would
dream?
that build your character, though? Probably not. Would that make you a better person?
It would make me a better person. I'd be more well-rested, and I'd get my workout goals in.
I can see how that could be beneficial.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'd go crazy. I mean, it's too good of a thing for there to not be consequences.
I know. I'm like, it's too good.
I'm always
like,
scared of things that are too good.
Yeah, like
that's why you don't have magic.
Hermione.
That's
had,
why,
like,
literally, the world will be a messy place with magic.
I mean,
it wouldn't be fair.
It's still really bad, I guess.
I mean, there is like a sort of magic.
There's dark
Like, people-
magic.
Yeah, dark magic. Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, we don't want to get into that because
about that.
then I'll cry. I'm just kidding. Okay, so last week
Yes.
we talked about.
What are we talking about?
What did we talk about?
We talked about friendships.
Friendships.
Oh, yes. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
How can you forget?
How could I forget? Honestly, we talked about friendships and all the things that come with it. How to be a good friend, how not to be a good friend, and how friendships in our countries and here have been different. So today we're going to kind of talk a little bit, we're branching off in a way, into something a little more specific. In friendships.
Romantic.
A little more romantic, a little more juicy,
Spice.
if you will. We're going to talk about boys. It's about damn time. In a minute, I'm gonna need ass. And okay. I'm on drugs. I'm sorry. I'm not allowed.
We're just chilling. It's a Tuesday night that we're doing this. Kind of random.
It is kind of
It's not in our
It feels good,
normal
though. I know.
schedule.
I know. We've kind of been recording randomly, but here we are. All right. So,
I was gonna say, didn't we last episode we kind of hinted at like first kiss stories?
oh,
Did we talk about that?
yes.
I want
I
to
don't
say.
remember.
I want to say that we're just trying to be better at like, oh, we were gonna talk about this, or we're gonna talk about it instead of just like forgetting about it and like keeping the people like, I thought they were gonna talk about this.
Right. We actually did say in the last episode we're gonna talk about our first kiss
Like at the end.
At the end. So
Okay,
is
I'm
it-
like, I'm
it's-
not ready for that yet.
Yeah. So I think.
So we'll wait for the end of the episode to do that.
Let's wait a little bit. Let's start with those TikToks.
TikToks.
All right.
All right, Desi.
So basically, we want to talk about dating outside our culture and like what that experience has been like for us, and try to find a solution to make it better for everyone else. Because it can be hard, but it can also be really good. So we are going to start with a few TikToks. I don't know if you guys have seen the trend on TikTok about like, what is it?
Like I can't
date outside my culture because how am I supposed to explain this and this and this to this person?
Yes,
right?
yes.
So there's a few ones that I'm just going to read to them. And the trick is, this is in English, so you have to guess.
We have to guess what they're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I'm excited.
Yes. And I hope my phone doesn't die.
I feel like it's such an interesting like trend because it's so specific.
it really
you know?
is.
Right.
Like, yeah, I just find it really interesting. It's kind of funny.
Oh. All right, ready? So sorry. Let me turn down my volume. Okay, so first one. I can't date outside my culture because how do I explain to someone that my Hispanic parents call me mom?
Oh, mommy.
Mommy.
Mommy,
Yeah.
papi. And
My mom always calls like my brother's puppy.
I think it's so sweet.
It's so cute.
But does it make
Really?
sense? No.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you say it in English, like,
Mommy.
come here, mommy.
Oh, sorry.
Like, that's
does,
weird.
Right?
That doesn't
it's
make sense.
so strange.
See, I wasn't raised like that. It was just always like, hija, hijita.
Really? My family's full of pet names. Full of them.
we
Like,
didn't get those.
I have like an embarrassing thing about me. I was always la nena. Because my
I
brother
love
was in la
that.
nena, I was la nena. And
I know,
no
I've
joke.
noticed your mom calls you Nana
Yeah.
all the time.
And probably till I was probably like 5, 6 years old, I genuinely thought that was my name. I thought I was Stacy Mabel, la nena, Galvez la
I
Parra.
remember when you said that.
I was like, and then it took a minute for me to be like, oh, that's just a nickname.
Yes.
They call me la nena.
That is so funny.
That's funny.
Okay, so I'm gonna need Giucaro to open your TikTok because my phone is gonna die.
Oh, sure.
And I just
I have some.
I sent all of them to you.
Okay.
I just
Oh,
sent
all right. You
yeah.
sent them to
I
Just
got
open
it.
like our messages.
Okay.
But yeah, Brazil is huge on nicknames too. I
Yeah.
feel like no one in Brazil calls each other their actual name.
Yeah.
But everyone has a nickname.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Everyone does, which I love.
I love it too. It's funny, like sometimes now, some of the nicknames are racist.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone that has small eyes, they're like, oh, el chinito, or el chino, la china.
I know.
Or like,
Negrita?
I'm la
Negrita,
negrita. That's
yes.
mine. So to me,
That was
I
mine
don't,
too.
I don't think it's offensive at
At
all.
all.
To me, I love it. Like when my aunts and uncles, my parents call me like negrita or negris.
I love it.
It like
It's cute.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, everybody has a nickname.
Yeah, they call my... the first time I heard my uncle be called... What is he called? Like, they call him negro.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Negro.
Yeah, el negro.
But it's just like, it's not the same as what we think,
Yeah.
like, translated it would be.
My grandpa calls me nigga. Which when I like tell people that, like here, they're like,
What?
say what?
Say, come again?
And I'm like, yeah, and I love it. And I claim it. And
Yeah.
it's just like the sweetest thing.
No, that's like my thing. Like I'm la negrita, and it's funny. My uncle calls my mom that because she was the dark one of her family, but I'm like way darker than my mom. And I'm like, no, there can only be one, and it is me. I'm the only negrita.
No one else. All right.
Suits you.
This next...
Should I read them? Because it's a surprise to you
Yes.
and to you. Because
Yes,
I
yes,
read
I'm
all
ready.
of them.
I read that next
The
one.
first
but
one. Okay.
I'll pretend like
I can't marry outside my race. Because how do I explain to him that water means watch out?
Awas.
Do you guys use
Actually,
that in Guatemala?
100%.
I just learned that like with this TikTok.
Oh, really?
I've never really heard that before. I don't think.
Oh, that we say that all the time. Awas. Like if I throw something, awas. Like.
Yeah.
Like,
But
heads
it's
up,
almost
heads
like
up.
watch out. That's it. Like okay.
It's just, yeah.
It's not that serious. Okay.
Aguas means waters, so that's why it's
Right. It's weird.
weird.
I can't date outside my culture because how do I explain to you that we drop an average of 25 to 50 grand to celebrate your daughter's 15th birthday?
Honestly, my mom and I talk about this
That
all
does
the
not
time.
need translation. That is the exact meaning.
Yeah.
People will literally spend so much money on quinceañeras and weddings and stuff, and I'm like, you don't have that money.
Dude, my dad is a loan officer, so he'll help people, buy a home or like refinance if they need to take money out of the equity of their home. And he's had clients, I think like 2 clients, come in and be like, all right, it's my daughter's quinceañera, we need 20 grand, we need 30 grand. And they'll take it out of the house, like the equity out of the house, which is like kind of smart.
For a party.
But at the same time, like, it's for a party. Like, I would understand maybe for, like, another investment, like, all right, let's get another property, whatever.
Yeah.
But for a party, that's only, like...
Like, what do you have
At
to
the most-
show for the party afterwards?
But
Besides,
dude,
like
like
the
a
pictures?
quinceañera dress, it's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're about to catch me making
That
my duct tape
itself.
dress.
Feel maybe... I mean, I didn't have a quinceañera because I feel it's more of, like, at least growing up, it was more of, like, a Catholic tradition because Misa is part of it. Like, you have to go to the church and get the
Well,
blessing
it
from
is
the
a
Father.
Catholic tradition.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Because a lot of people here are like, how come you don't have a quinceañera? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know until, like, later that it was like a Catholic specific thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it is. It was at least, but because people love that, and they adapted it to their own traditions,
Because
and now
it's
everybody
fun.
does it. But
That's fine.
Did you have one?
No,
Do
we
they
do.
do that in
We
Brazil?
do have quinceañera. We call it Festa dos 15.
Fiesta
like
de
that.
Quince?
Like Fiesta
Yeah.
de los Quince?
Yeah.
I like that better. That's cuter.
But and no, I didn't have one. But it is a big deal when you turn 15. Like if you don't get a big party, you get something.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah. My sister, when she turned 15, my parents were like, you can have your quinceañera or you can have a trip. And my sister was like, a trip, obviously. So we all went to Florida.
Okay, that's the first time I hear that the trip actually happened. Because, like, you know how people say, like, if you choose a trip for your quinceañera, chances are it will never happen.
I've never heard that.
Everyone says that. Well, at least in Brazil, like, if you choose a trip, like, your parents are going to trick you. Into, like, not tricking.
Into not having.
That's funny.
No. Oh, I would have demanded
it's like a joke. Like, if you were the one that chose the trip over the party, chances are you never even went on the trip. You got nothing.
Interesting.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, no, my sister did. And I got to go. Well, we all got to go.
So where did you go?
We went to Florida, went to Universal Studios.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was way fun. I didn't have a quinceañera, though. I didn't even get the option. I was just kind of... Happy birthday, you're 15.
Like,
okay.
it's not going to happen for you.
You know, I will say this really sweet thing. On my dad's side of the family, they're not members of the LDS church. And so my grandpa called me on my 15th birthday. He's like, I know that we're not together to celebrate your quinceañera, but let me sing to you. And he sang to me over the phone. I was like crying because it had been a long time since I'd seen him. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that was like a way for him to like, this is what I grew up with. This is like a tradition that I wanted you to experience. And unfortunately we couldn't. And so he just sang to me over the phone. I don't remember if it was like a happy birthday or like a specific quinceañeras. Yeah, I think it might have been that because I think that's very typical, not only on birthdays, but specifically quinceañeras. So that was just really
so sweet. Yeah. I do want to continue the tradition to make it special. I don't know about 30 grand on a party.
100%.
Unless I'm really rich, then I would gladly do it because how fun.
Yeah.
But I do think it's special, and I think it's like when you become a woman.
A woman.
They say.
A lady.
Even though like you're still a child.
I know. I'm like, they should move it to 18.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah. 29.
But here in the United States, you have your Sweet 16, which is kind of like the same idea, right?
Same concept.
Except people usually get a car.
Could you imagine having a car at 16? Bruh.
I literally learned how to drive like a few years ago.
Did you know how in my Sweet 16 on MTV,
I used to love
you know
that
how
show.
every girl got a Land Rover or Range Rover, whichever one of those two?
That's so crazy.
It was because the MTV had a contract with Land Rover, so that's why all the girls were getting that. Because like, I mean, I told that to Cody. I'm like, oh, I've always wanted one. He's like, why? And I'm like, I just grew up with watching all the girls get it. And then we went at the car dealership when we got our car, and the car sales guy was like, oh, it's because this. And I'm like, oh,
that's crazy. See, but it makes more sense to get a car than a party. Like,
for sure.
If you think about your future and like investing and like help, like, okay, now that you're a woman, like, these are the things that you have to do now. You have to take your license and get your license and, like, you get a car. Like, that makes a little bit more sense
take you
than,
to
like,
your job,
one night of
school.
fun. Yeah, right?
Have you seen those, like, awkward quinceañera videos?
Oh my gosh, I love them. I live for them. On TikTok,
like, the ants are like...
I've never been to a quinceañera before, like a Mexican one.
I haven't either.
I think I crashed.
I
at
went
a party.
to one for a little bit on my mission because we knew we couldn't stay there for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's someone that we knew, so we went for a little bit. But yeah, I've never been to like.
I really want to.
Yeah.
I've never been to a Mexican one, but I've been to like a million Guatemalan ones, and they are
in Brazil
so
too.
fun.
Every single one of my friends had the biggest party.
At like hotels with like dancers and like
that's crazy.
And we sometimes my friends and I would just like hear of one. We're like, oh,
and
somebody's friend is gonna be at this hotel, and we're like, we're going.
Totally,
so, like,
that's what I did too.
Yeah,
let's say if you married outside the culture, like the Latin American culture, how do you explain that to like? Let's say you marry an American, right? Like, we have to take out fat cash to pay for our daughter's 15th birthday.
Yeah.
You know, so that would be interesting.
See, I don't think I would even want to do that though.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, I don't care for it, but I'm sure there's people out there that are like, oh, I want my daughter to have a quinceañera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the husband's like, what the heck?
I don't know. I feel like I hope to find someone one day where I don't have to explain and convince them with things.
Yeah.
It's just like they are so interested enough in my culture that they're all about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct. And I hope that I don't have to convince people to understand things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like the beauty, and I guess we'll talk about this, but like the beauty of like a biracial couple, it's like you do things that they do, and like, because I'm down to do other celebrations that
Totally.
whatever his culture or whatever his traditions are.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, this girl, she said, I did end up with someone outside my culture, and now I have to explain we celebrate Christmas the 24th. we must stay up until midnight and hug everyone in the room. So annoying.
We really do.
And more than one person will be emotional. We don't wake up early the next morning to open presents or have a Christmas breakfast.
I'm so dead.
So we
at the
do it
hugs.
like at midnight, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Do you
that's
guys do
how-
that too?
Yeah.
In Brazil?
You stay awake up until midnight, and that's what. Who came up with that? That's kind of awful. I had my great time,
Yeah.
but like I feel like that's hard on
I love
parents.
it. Are you kidding me? That's like my favorite way to
I
celebrate.
know. I love it too, but I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was, I guess it was weird when we first moved here. I was 11 and like we would have our Christmas dinner on the 24th, but then I would hear friends like, oh, our Christmas dinner is tomorrow, you know, or something. I'm like, what the?
I know.
That doesn't make sense.
But it's fun to like do both, because like I've heard of families that they will open their presents at midnight and then there's more presents in the morning.
Oh yeah, the more presents, the better.
I like the idea of blending traditions because American Christmas is fun. There's fun things about it.
I feel like if anything, like we think of Christmas, like, or when we think of Christmas, we think more of like an American Christmas because all the movies that we grew up with, like watching, influenced our Christmas. But like we didn't have snow in Mexico, right? At least where I lived. But when we moved here, I'm like, oh, this feels more like
It
Christmas.
feels more like Christmas.
Yeah, this is how it should be. But obviously, it's different. Like,
I've
isn't
never-
it summer in Brazil?
Yeah.
It's summer.
so crazy.
I actually had a really hard. I think I mentioned that in one of the episodes. I had a hard time like
Yeah.
feeling the holiday spirit because it didn't feel like the holidays
That's
to
so
me for a long
crazy.
time
Yeah.
Yeah.
until I started like practicing the traditions.
We'll talk more about Christmas soon.
I know, it's a fun topic. I can't date outside my culture because how do I explain to you that we drop... Okay, I already read that. I can't marry outside my culture because how do I explain to him that a girl falls on me fat?
Me caigo.
Oh, me cae gorda.
Stacey was like, what?
That's super Mexican. I don't say that.
Oh, this is me
She
cae
falls
gorda.
on me fat.
She falls on me so fat.
I know. Do you know how to explain that? Like, me cae gorda?
It's like me cae mal.
I
Like,
know
I don't
what
like
it
them.
means, but that's so
Wow,
weird. It's almost like...
Insulting to fat people.
Fatphobic?
Fatphobic. Yes, me cae gorda.
Because what if she
Why
is
can't
fat?
why can't she caerme flaca?
Exactly. Why?
Why can't she caerme normal?
Dude, I don't know. I have
go
no
to that.
idea that I grew up with that my whole life, and still to this day.
Do you say that a lot?
I don't say it like, I me cae gorda. I just say me cae mal.
Yeah.
I think it's a better way to go about it.
Yeah, because I don't know. I guess, yeah, I just never expressed myself that way. I do have friends, though, that say me cae gorda, and I'm like, oh, yeah, me cae mal. I was like, I don't even say that
Yeah.
word. Not because, like,
Yeah.
I think it's offensive. It's just not even in my
It's
head.
not super common for you to.
For
Not
me,
in your
yeah.
vocab. I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't say it's not part of my culture. It's more
Right.
Mexican.
I've never
but like
said it.
all of the other stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's funny, though, because
You know
that's
who-
I know.
the exact translation.
You know
She
who
falls on
taught me
fat.
that? This guy who's American, but he serves his mission in Mexico, and so he came back and would always be like, "Ah, me cae gorda, me cae gorda," and I'm like, "What are you saying? Like you're saying that wrong. It's me cae mal."
You're saying it wrong.
Like,
Who taught you that?
What?
I think it's more
How about
also...
you just tell me your password?
Yeah, I was going to say 0000.
She will change that
That's
later.
also my password.
I really don't care.
I don't care either.
I think it might be more of a Mexico City thing, like slang, like more of like central Mexico. I guess the north says that too, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just glad I don't have to explain that.
Yeah.
I can't date outside my culture because how do I explain that we eat rice with milk and 3 milks cake?
Arroz con leche, me quiero casar. You know that song?
So good.
You don't know? Arroz con leche, me
Okay, I
quiero
haven't heard it.
casar con una señorita de la capital.
Aww.
That was like a song we always sang. That's so funny.
I love arroz con leche, and I used to hate it when I was little.
Isn't
Really?
it legit rice pudding?
Yeah.
If I think it's
Except
rice
who
pudding.
started it first?
I have no idea.
Hispanics, come on, rice.
Arroz con leche.
It could have. I
It
mean,
could have been the Chinese. They grow rice.
But they don't drink milk. I don't.
no, I was gonna say it could be. Girl,
They do. I heard there's no cheese in China. Like no dairy. Really? Google it right now.
I find it hard to believe
I
that
swear they
the entire
they
country
don't.
of China is deprived of dairy products. I feel like
They
that's
are.
then
they
Am
might
I
have
just
for a
dumb?
long time.
then
I
I
believe
feel
everything
bad
people
for
tell
them.
Well, no, I was gonna say a lot of like the Western diet has infiltrated China, like Asian countries now, because they didn't have obesity for the longest time.
Okay, but
I
they,
just
they
had
have milk.
someone tell me once that they don't eat cheese and there's no cheese there.
I
I
think
should
there's
have
cheese
cheese now.
on the eggs.
Because like there's McDonald's there and stuff and like ice cream,
Yeah,
right?
No, I'm sure they have dairy now, but that might not be like a very popular thing to have like in their diet because it's mostly just like what meat.
Bro.
Am I right?
Bro.
Are you serious?
According to the New York Times, there has not been dairy in mainstream Chinese diet for centuries. No butter, no milk, no cheese, nothing. 90% of the population is said to be lactose intolerant. Okay, but lactose intolerant, that's 90% of genuinely everybody.
Yeah, it's all of us.
Like me, everybody.
Everybody.
But that's interesting.
You laughed at me so
hard. It was hard for me to believe that dairy being such a huge part of our diet is not. Thank you for teaching. I'm shook. That's
I know.
insane.
I'm like, I knew someone was serious about this when they told me, and I don't remember who or when.
Okay, so they definitely didn't come up with arroz con leche.
No, it was us. It was the Hispanics,
I
the
was gonna
Latinos.
say like a lot of our food tacos are not Mexican; they're Middle
Yeah,
Eastern.
exactly.
So
What?
arroz con leche, yeah, arroz con leche could be Middle Eastern too because they have rice and they have a lot of like milk
Yeah.
in their
Yeah.
like goat milk in their diet. So it could be like a mix
Yeah.
of.
I feel
Bro,
like
I am shook right now that in China, cheese is not part of their diet. Like, I'm sorry for them. Like, cheese?
yeah, but I think they're
I
fine.
think that's good.
Honestly, I don't eat cheese that much, but I do like it.
You know, cheese is more addicting than cocaine. It's easier to stop taking cocaine than cheese.
That makes sense.
I really like string cheese.
What was
Anyways.
I gonna say? Did you know that churros are Spanish and not like
Mexican? Like Latin American?
or Latin American?
Wow.
I didn't
guess
know
I can
that.
believe
They
that.
invented churros. When I went to Spain, I was like, you guys are doing this right. Like, it's so good. It's so good there.
You know who does churros really bad?
Who?
Costco?
The United States of America.
Oh, it's disgusting.
The United States of America has the worst churros in the world.
And why are they so soggy every single time? I'm
They're
like
like, make
hard
it
on-
crispy.
they're
And
like-
fill it with something.
they're either too hard
Yeah.
or soggy.
and long. Don't make it long. Make it fat.
Make it fat. Do not make it long. Yes, correct. That is the way. And in Guate,
F-A-T fat or P-H-A-T? P-H-A-T.
fat.
Make it fat.
I would rather it be like wide than long.
Churros.
Are we gonna get banned from YouTube?
No, we're talking about churros. In Guatemala, my dad, after school every day, he would stop by a bakery and buy us a churro that was like stuffed with manjar, which is like custardy type thing. Bruh, after that, like literally
Dude.
every churro here is a disappointment.
No, churros in Brazil are so good.
Mexico City
Oh my
churros
gosh.
with cajeta, which is, I guess,
yes.
I love.
if I really think about it, it's like caramel, but not like
It's cajeta. It's not caramel.
Yeah,
I was
it's
gonna say,
it's
like,
it's
for those that
is that
don't
not
know.
a dairy product?
cajeta.
Yeah.
It comes from a goat.
Right.
I
If you
supposedly.
haven't had it,
well,
find
at
it.
least
Okay.
that's on the picture of the front. Of the
It's from
cajeta.
it's from goat milk.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I churros with cajeta inside from Mexico City. It's a whole other level.
You follow that churro place once, right? I follow them, and
it's on
my
my
dream is to go
bucket
there.
list.
Yes, okay, we need to go together.
Yeah, it's my bucket list. It's like one of the oldest churrerias in Mexico. So.
Oh, I want to go there.
Oh, I have to show you their Instagram. It's amazing.
Yes.
Anyway.
There was a time I wanted to buy a churro truck and make it a business, but then when I found out all you have to do to make good churros, not just like
Churros are hard.
I'm like
I've tried to make them before. It's a complete disaster.
Yeah, they're hard to make. So if you find someone that makes good churros, let us know.
I don't know how to deep fry anything.
We'll send them our money.
Yeah, no, all my
But
money.
3 milks cake, love it.
Love tres leches. Love tres leches. I had some last night from
What?
Rancheritos.
My mom makes really good tres leches.
When is your mom gonna invite us over?
Yeah.
You know, I should ask her when she wants me to come over. She wants to invite me over.
First, when I'm there. Okay, I can't marry outside my race because how do I explain to her heel frog's ass?
Wait, what?
Sana.
Oh, sana colita de rana.
Yeah, we say colita. We don't say culito.
Culito. No, yeah, it's colita.
Colita. Sana colita de rana. Si no sana hoy, sana mañana.
I know
else?
that
I think
makes
that's all I know.
no sense. At all.
Heel.
Dude,
Little frog, but if
could
it doesn't heal today, heal tomorrow.
Because, I mean, colita de rana, I mean, not to get dark again, but they use that in, like, witchcraft stuff. So it could literally be, like, a little spell.
It could be.
No, literally.
But I think it just rhymes.
All of those little like children's songs from our childhood, like if you think about it,
Yeah, they're whack.
they're dark
Yeah.
and they make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't explain it to
Like,
myself. It
apparently,
doesn't
like,
make sense to
is
me.
that, like, Ring Around the Roses is, like, talking about war times.
Yeah, what the heck? We need to like reinvent.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah. It doesn't sound good. I just sang it
She's
in my
like,
head.
yeah, that's dark. It's hard to marry outside my culture. How do I explain to my wife? Oh, that's the same one. Okay. I can't date outside of my culture because how do I explain to them that I don't like people that are elbows?
Codos.
I don't know this one, and I was like, I'm just gonna say it to them and see if they know because that didn't make
Yeah,
sense.
so alguien que es codo,
It's
somebody is cheap.
Cheap. Okay.
They don't want to spend money on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
Codo.
say, like, él es codo,
Yeah.
ella es coda.
Yeah.
There's not, like, another way to describe someone like that.
I mean, not like a, no.
You know what we say in Brazil? Mão de vaca, a cow's hand.
No, that's
Mão
funny.
de vaca.
Like, useless, or I don't know.
Mão de vaca, it's a person that's codo. Like,
that's fine.
ela é mão de vaca, like, she doesn't, like,
Spend
Spend
money.
money.
yeah.
Interesting.
Or doesn't, like, buy people things. Like,
Yeah.
it's only for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't marry outside my culture because how do I explain that my grandparents bring fat girls in a suitcase from Mexico?
Bolillos?
Gorditas?
Oh. That's funny. Like, hey, abuelita, tráeme unas gorditas de Mexico. Is that what it's talking about?
Yeah. I
Yeah, pretty
guess.
much.
Wait, what
In a
are
suitcase.
gorditas? What are gorditas?
Gorditas,
Are they
to
like?
be honest, I don't think I've even ever had one.
They look good in this TikTok.
Are they?
never
Are
had
they the
one
ones
either.
that have the cheese on top?
Gorditas.
Why do they look like sweets though?
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't call them gorditas. Maybe like empanadas? Is that what it's referring
I
to?
don't know. They look like
It's so-
pancakes in this.
Let me
I mean, I know there's gorditas food.
Yeah,
I just don't
I've
know
heard
exactly
of
what
it.
it is. But I guess that's what they're referring
Fat girls.
to. Fat
little
girls.
girls.
Fat little girls.
Let me see. What are gorditas?
Does Taco Bell have gorditas? Like the gordita crunch?
Oh, okay. So it's a sorry.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, duh. That
Yeah.
makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, gorditas a Mexican cuisine. I can never say that.
I know that word is not good for me.
Cuisine.
Cuisine.
It's French. It's a dish made with masa and stuffed with cheese, meat, and other fillings. So it's kind of like an empanada, but it's like toasted, more toasted, like on top.
Like a
So
pupusa?
it's similar to the Colombian and Venezuelan arepa.
Oh, like an empanada.
Should we go get pupusas?
Yes. Wait, that's where we should go on Friday.
The best pupusas.
I forgot for a second we were recording and we were just making plans.
And if it's too loud to talk and like plan things, then let's eat
Or
we
you
can
just
order
take him
it
to
and
go.
go somewhere
Yeah.
else or come here.
The best pupusas me and Cody found are in West Valley. They're
Oh,
so worth
I
it,
will
though.
drive far for food.
I'll have to try those, but I stand by El Mexal in Provo.
I've had that. It's good, but these guys are better.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna give them a try.
Okay, let's go.
But I do stand by my El Mexal.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, I didn't marry outside my culture because how can I say, old lady, I'm a fart, pick me up?
Estoy peda.
Estoy pedo. Wait, old lady.
Vieja.
I don't know.
Like
yeah.
so, vieja.
Yeah.
Some people say that to like their moms or to their like wives or something. It's
I'm
just
a
like
fart.
vieja, estoy peda. Come get me. It's funny. I don't say it like that.
There's like, it's kind of like a joke because in Mexico we say, está bien pedo. Like, it's such a, like, it's so cool. Or if you say, oh, she's bien peda. Oh, she's really cool. Vamos a la peda. Let's go to the party. Estoy bien
But that's
peda.
like a
I'm
bad
hungover.
word, almost.
It's
very
not
it's not
bad
bad.
word.
But if you hear someone say that, it's kind of like, it's because it's not even like, oh, she's a shit, because shit is a bad word.
Yeah.
It's kind of like crude, if that's like the right word. So it's not like you're not a bad person for saying it, but you're kind of like explicit.
Yeah, totally. Makes sense.
And all those uses of that word we don't use in Guatemala. Like in Guatemala, we only use that word for fart, and I hate that word. Like I will not say it.
Oh, yeah.
I hate saying it. Like it sounds so gross to me,
No.
and
we have our own version.
Yeah.
In Portuguese, it's peido. Does it? And I hate it. I'm like,
I know.
I can't
It like
believe I just said it.
I know. When I said it, I was like,
It makes me
I
feel
grew up
like a
little.
dirty girl. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not that.
I don't know why.
I don't talk like
hated
that.
it so- yes.
I'm a princess.
I'm a princess. I don't say that word.
I don't say
No,
that.
for real. Also, that's like a thing. Like, my mom will not say a lot of words because she's like, that's for boys.
Yeah.
Like, boys say that.
No,
or
totally.
like
It makes
dirty
me
boys.
feel like a
But yeah, that's how
But
it's
we have way, right?
Yeah.
And that at first when that word started becoming popular, I feel like a lot of people thought it was like a bad word.
Yeah.
Because I grew up thinking it was a bad word, but then when I started hearing like my friends say it, I'm like, okay, so it's not that bad, so it's kind of cool. And there's times that I even catch myself saying it without even thinking about it.
yeah.
See, that's super Mexican. I didn't say it. We say it now to like make fun. Like it's funny, but it's not a common word in our vocabulary.
But like if Cody were to call me way, I'd be like, what's your problem? You know?
Way who, not
Like
me.
I wouldn't call him that, but I'd call my best friend like, wait, ¿qué onda?
Weekend.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, in Guatemala we have like different words for drunk, for all of
Yeah.
But I have to be in like I have to be like really good friends with someone to talk
that.
like that.
Yeah.
At least here, in Mexico, everyone talks like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
So
Well,
that
I
was
think it's
fun.
hard because we can even explain certain things to ourselves. Like, I think the whole point was like, how do I explain this to a gringo, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever. Or to someone outside your culture. It could be anyone. We don't even know how to make things make sense.
Yeah, they just are the way they are, and
They are the way
just
they
know
are.
what they mean, and that's it.
And I don't think we need to stress too much about making it make sense to people because it doesn't make sense to
No.
us either.
Well, there's like also like a lot of American sayings and slang sayings, and I'm like,
It makes no sense
that
either.
makes
yeah.
no sense. Like Cody will say things, and I'm like, I have no idea what that means. He's
Yes,
like, you've never
totally.
heard this? I'm like, no.
I know, I've lived here forever, and then sometimes people will use like an idiom or something, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what does like that? What
I
what
literally
does that
just
mean?
nod and I don't even ask questions at this point.
Yeah. So
Yes, we all have our own things. But I was looking at those like those TikToks of like, I can't marry too far outside my culture because of this. And like other people have been posting it, people from different cultures, and I'm like, what? Like you do that? Like it's so funny because I'm like learning so much about
Other people.
Other
yeah.
people's cultures.
Which is so,
so
cool.
probably a very cool trend. It
So,
is a very cool trend.
like, would you guys, I guess with that knowledge or that experience, would you be comfortable dating outside the culture, or would you prefer someone that knows your culture? It doesn't have to be like the same, like someone from the same country, but someone that knows it for you to like be like, oh, I think this will work out, or do you not care? Because I know some girls don't care.
That's a great question.
That is a really good question, and I think that's essentially the premise of our episode today. I guess when I was here, so I came to the United States for college. So I was here at BYU, and I think everybody I went out with was American. Also, there's like the whole, like for me, I was like on a student visa, and I was like, oh, gotta marry a gringo so I can stay here. And so I always was like hanging out with white dudes, which like honestly I loved, and like it was way fun, and they like taught me a lot of cool things. And so I would be down to date a white guy. But I did realize later I was hanging out with this Latino dude. And I realized how much easier it was. Like certain things were so easy because I was like, I didn't have to explain who Romeo Santos was, or I didn't have to explain that like
The foundation of your life.
Right, like this is how my family does things. Like he already knew. It's like, oh yeah, duh. Or like he would play music and I'm like, oh my gosh, those are my songs. And like with white dudes is like, I gotta teach you my songs, or I have to teach you how to do this, or I have to explain these things to you. And so I remember like going out with this Latino dude, and I was like, it is so easy. It's just very natural.
It flows.
And so part of me was like, oh, I kind of want to stick with that. But I don't care, essentially, at the end of the day. And I've also gone out with dudes from other cultures where I've been the one learning and stuff. And that is also really cool to learn about other people's cultures.
I agree with you. I used to be very, like, for a long time, I'm only dating a Latino. Like, there's no other option for me. That's what I'm doing because I just feel at home. And it's hard in my situation because I feel like Hispanics have a lot more things in common because you guys speak Spanish, right? Not being Hispanic but being Latina, like that excludes a lot of like Latinos from my world in a way, right? If I'm only gonna stick to Brazilians and I'm in Orem, Utah, like, do I have many options? No, that would be very hard. So I can't like close myself off and be like, I'm only dating a Brazilian, even though my first choice will be to date a Brazilian. Like, I much rather, right? And I feel like it will be so fun to have someone else like me and raise our children like that, even though we live here. Like, if I could choose, and I can, I would do that. But I feel like I got to a point too, like you, it's like, you know what? Like, I think it could be really fun to learn about other cultures and like be open. And I think too with life, like I feel like I used to be really picky about that, but I have realized that like that's not the most important thing. Because if you date a guy and he's so into you, I like to believe that he will be interested in learning about your culture. And that could be such a fun thing to do, like to have him like take lessons to learn the language of your culture.
It is beautiful to see a dude invested in learning about your culture.
Yes, and
like, I love that.
It's so fun, and almost everyone I've dated until today that so far has been really interested in my culture. And I've loved that, like, if you can take them to your country and it's the first time they see beautiful things there and like the things you like tell them all the time and they see it for the first time, like it's really cool to see them learn as well. So that doesn't take away the fact that it could be fun, you know, to date someone that's like, but like I said, yes, I would date outside my culture. However, they have to be interested in my culture.
And I think that tells a lot about the person. If they are
Absolutely
open-minded to learn about new traditions and customs and things like that, I think that's a quality I seek for, not just in relationships, but in friendships as well.
Yeah,
like
in life.
Like I've known people that are like, this is how I know things work. And this is what I like, and I will not budge.
Yeah,
like I eat chicken nuggets for dinner every day, and I will never eat anything different.
They're not open-minded.
They're not open, right? And I'm like, no, you gotta open your mind and realize that people have every culture has something to teach us, and every culture has something beautiful and cool that we could adapt into our lives.
I think being open-minded, though, for me personally, it's not enough. I think you have to, I want someone that's passionate about my culture.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Kind of thing.
The more the better.
Like, you have to at least try to learn the language.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think, because how long technically have you guys been in Utah?
10 years.
9.
Yeah, I'm like 15 years plus.
Your experience is
so
very
I was gonna
ours.
say, like, since because for me coming here, I'm like, I'm not here to. I wasn't thinking this at 11 years old, right? I was thinking this like 21 after my mission. Like, I'm not here to, and it sounds horrible, but I'm like, I'm here and I'm exposed to different cultures, so I'm like totally open to those. Probably because I didn't grow up as long in my country, so like you said, like how you said, like my first option would be Brazilian. For me, I don't think I ever had the first option like it has to be Mexican, just because like
you didn't even experience
that. I mean, you come fresh off, let's say, from like Brazil, you already you still have like your culture, you remember a lot more than like what I experienced. So it's like, for me, it wasn't like, it was never like I have to date Mexican. I probably, for a while, I would have preferred to date like a Latino guy, but I just couldn't find one that could understand how I was raised too, because I wasn't raised like most Mexicans, and I'm not saying like I'm special, but it's just like a different journey that I was on.
And I think that I fall under that same category of someone that was raised like
both.
It's two cultures, because
because you were back and forth.
I was back and forth, so it was like the American culture and the Guatemalan culture were just equally as intertwined, and so like
I love. It makes
mine was like
sense.
this,
like
like since I was little, just like
so
intertwined. So Yeah, I think for the longest time I knew I wanted to date American and I wanted to marry American. Obviously, that's where I ended up, but there was a time where I kind of diverted and I dated someone that was he was half Hawaiian, half Samoan. So he's Polynesian. And before I dated him, I started going to the Polynesian singles ward. For those that don't know, that's like a church for just single adults. And so I got invited there and I just saw so many people from different cultures, not just Polynesian. There were a couple kids from Africa, a lot of people from South America, obviously a lot of Latinos, and just a ton of Polynesians, right? And so I was like, interesting. Like, we kind of look alike sometimes, so that was kind of cool to like learn about. And then just our cultures are very similar, so I just really enjoyed being somewhere that I felt like I belonged, but also being different at the same time. So I wasn't like, oh, she's just another brown girl. Like, no, I was different from them, but we were all together at the same time. So anyways,
brown people we just
vibe.
Bond, and no matter what kind of brown you are, we bond.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something that we have in common.
Yeah, so I just completely fell in love with the Polynesian culture, and like I think Utah, there's a lot of Polynesians here as well. And so it's just, I guess I had that option and I dated this person, and it was just, and he served in mission in a South American, is it South America? Guatemala? Central America.
Latin
like,
American,
I know that did not sound right. So yeah, so he knew Spanish, and on top of that, so he knew my culture, but he also had his culture, which was similar to my culture.
Awesome.
So it was like my culture times 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So awesome.
With some differences. And so it was like, oh, perfect. I found my place. I found, I guess you could say my person. In the end, like, we just but we didn't want the same things in life. We had different goals, so we just took different paths, and I ended up with Cody, and
who's half Mexican in my opinion.
Basically, like,
which is so cool. I feel like that works. Like, it will have to be like that for me.
Yeah. So,
like, Cody makes salsa. Like, what?
And he makes good salsa. Like, at first I'm like, white salsa, mild. No, like, my parents really like a salsa.
That's so funny.
Like, it has to be like that for me.
Yeah. No, and I think that was a big thing for me too. Like, in coming to BYU, I always wanted to date the dudes that served their missions in a Spanish-speaking country. Because I'm like, I want you to have that with me. Like, I want that. And I guess so we are still kind of like, I still definitely wanted aspects of my culture in them, just because it flows more naturally, I think. But
yeah, and then there's those people like my sister, my youngest sister, and probably because she didn't live in Mexico as long, she doesn't really care to have someone that speaks Spanish or served in like a Spanish-speaking mission, whereas that was like priority. Like, I want someone that can talk to my grandparents or my parents, and at least he doesn't need to know my whole culture, but just understand it, like you said. But so there's those people that just don't care, and obviously that's fine.
If you don't care, you don't care.
Yeah.
What difference does it make? I think if you care and it doesn't happen for you, that can suck a little bit.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think it is very, like Desi said, very, just wonderful to like learn about other cultures. Take the things that you like we've said before, and take out the things that you don't like and that you want to change about your culture. And it can be tough, though, I guess, balancing cultures too.
Yeah, totally. I think you made a good point about like taking out the bad. Because I saw, one of the TikToks that I was looking at with all of the other ones, this girl, she was like, also, by the way, I bought my Stanley Cup, and it's...
Did you get the same color
as us?
Oh,
no way, no, it's pink.
Oh, good.
That's fine.
I mean, I had to do it.
Part of me was like, it would be nice if we all had the same one, but no, I mixed mine up with yours.
I didn't even like realize you guys had white ones.
I didn't realize, like,
because I was like, my water bottle broke. I'm like, okay, I have to buy a new one.
Desi bought a glass water bottle to carry it around everywhere. Like, just picture.
And I dropped it.
A glass bottle.
Like, it was as heavy as my head.
But it literally lasted you like a couple months.
No, a couple weeks. Literally, I don't think he made. It wasn't, maybe it was too much. I don't know.
A long time for a glass bottle.
I'm excited for my water bottle.
Stanleys are the best. Stanley, sponsor us.
But I love the point that you made, because so this girl, she was like, I am glad I married outside my culture, because now I don't have a husband that expects me to cook, to clean, and to do everything else. Like, I'm outside of the machista culture. And for her, she's like, I'm so glad that I didn't marry into my culture, because that would have been the expectation, which is so big in our cultures, being Latin and Hispanic, and it's big.
No, it's so true. I hadn't even thought about that, but no, it's...
So she's happy she didn't.
I guess that kind of goes to our next point of, like, what do people expect of us?
Yeah.
Like, as Latinas, you hear always, like, oh, she's Latina. I want to date a Latina. I want to marry. Like, what does that mean? What is it about us?
Because we're going to cook and clean for you? No.
Sorry.
No.
This new generation.
No. I don't think gringos think that. I don't even think they know that's a thing in our culture. I think men in our culture
maybe to a certain
this.
point. Maybe... I think
they have different expectations.
Yeah, I think most American guys don't expect that of us, but they know that we can do that.
Like she cooks, she's Latina, like
so they kind of
I can barely
experience that.
I went out with this dude, and he was Native American, and he was like, "Oh, you were gonna cook and clean for me," and I was like, "I don't know how to cook.
Sorry,
I don't like cooking."
Literally,
but
don't
it could
know
be
how
like
to do anything.
I see my parents' marriage, and I love that because they are equal. My mom cooks, my dad cooks. My mom cleans, my dad cleans. My mom does this, my dad does it. So it's like, amazing. And so to me, I'm like, I don't care who I'm marrying. I don't care if you're white, black, Latino, whatever you are. We're gonna be 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, you wash dishes, I dry and put them away. Like, teamwork. Yes. Because I'm not gonna be the mom wife that's like, I live to clean and cook. I'm not. No, I have a career.
And honestly, I would gladly do it if everything else was taken care of. Yeah. Like, it just has to make sense. I will happily cook every night and like clean the house. Like, I'm not against it. I just think, like, if I'm also working.
Right, and I think that's what I mean.
Right, like, it just has to make sense.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be home all day long, I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, that house is gonna be spotless.
Of course, I'm gonna do kitchen cleaning. But if we both have jobs,
I was gonna say,
without
kids,
it'd be spotless. But you still work too,
right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if I'm not doing anything else,
right? Correct.
You're getting everything you want.
But that's not me. I'm not the person to.
But
not
I have
do
dreams
anything.
and goals and aspirations.
I gotta get out of the house.
I think it might be subconscious because I think we grew up. Maybe not Stacy, and maybe not Desi. I'm just talking from personal experience. I just saw how much my mom would stress about keeping the house clean, having food like every single day. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, no. I feel bad that my mom feels like she has to do that, you know what I mean? Or like, I feel like a lot, at least in the Mexican culture, I think of my grandma, she's very submissive, so she like she feels like she has to please everyone, and so it's almost like, maybe, I don't want to call it trauma, but it's almost like I just grew up seeing my family members like that, and like my aunts as well, maybe not to that same degree, but like, maybe that's why I just don't enjoy cooking, because like my mom always had to cook.
Feeling,
and she like, not that she would complain about cooking, it was mostly about keeping the house clean, which I feel so bad that like now I understand what it is to have a clean house, like what that feels as in a family setting. Anyways, I think that for the longest time I just did not care about cooking because I'm like, I don't want to be stressed out like my mom.
Totally.
And like, you just, kind of like we said, like in our cultures, the wife or the woman is the one that has to do all the house chores. That's just expected of them. Obviously, it's nice when the man helps. But, like, my dad had a maid in college.
Exactly.
Like, he never had to do those things for himself. Not that he's lazy, but he was just not raised like that because the man was just the one that went out to work. And my dad is an excellent provider.
Yeah.
My mom's an excellent cook. I feel like if, there was more balance, it would have been a different atmosphere. But
I also think with, like, our generation now, everything is so different because my dad raised me and my siblings, even like me and my sister, to like go live our dreams and work. Like, he never like raised us to be like homemakers. Yeah. Especially because my mom wasn't there. Like, my dad raised me and my siblings, and then we had a maid. So everything, like, literally, my ex-boyfriend taught me how to separate laundry. Like, I didn't know anything.
Cody told me taught me how to do laundry.
Literally.
I don't know how I did it on the mission.
I learned how to do laundry
You just
in
you have
college.
one you just all together. But
I mean, I do that just because I'm lazy and I don't care. But like same. I grew up with a maid. I didn't
learn how to do anything. Like, if you want to date me, you better know. Well, I'm better now. I still cook everything I eat in an air fryer.
Are we capable of doing all the things? Yes.
I'm capable.
Is it my duty to...
Yeah, I know. But I do feel like our generation is a little different. And our age of men, I feel like there might still be some of them that think that we need to do all of those things. But I haven't dated one guy yet that like had that huge expectation for me to be like, if anything, they didn't want me to. They wanted me to work.
Can you go make your own money?
Can you like make us rich? Which I think it's like it's shifting now. Like most men want to find women that are going to provide, which
it's a whole
other topic.
And I think that like shift happened really recently, but it happened really like for almost everyone. I think I mean, at least here in the States, like my brother, his wife works. So, and he's going to school, so he takes care of the babies. Like, my brother's, like, essentially a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
And, like, that was unheard of 25 years ago.
It's still kind of shocking to most people.
Yeah. But it's like, you do what you got to do.
It works.
And you do what works.
Yeah. Totally. But, yeah, that is one expectation. I feel like another expectation that I think we've all experienced is, like...
I have no idea what you're going to say.
Like the romantic side of things. Like, she's Latina, so like she's spicy.
She got curves.
She's probably
got
good at it or whatever.
What is a spicy Latina?
What is a spicy Latina?
A spicy Latina? And this is a thing that people talk about all the time. Like, oh, Latinas are so hot and spicy. What does that mean?
I'm mild.
Like,
I got no spice.
Like, I think I'm extra spicy. And I will claim that.
But what about you makes you spicy?
Like
what does
I
that mean?
it's like the attitude, the like...
But you're telling me white girls don't have attitude?
They do, but like, have you seen me fight with a boy? With a boyfriend.
Yeah, well, okay, I see that, but like...
But no, I know they can be a little crazy,
too. I don't think that's just Latinas.
I know it's not.
I think, I mean, just...
I think we're very opinionated,
specifically?
Maybe? Like, think about Hollywood portrayals of Latinas.
Mm-hmm.
J-Lo, Salma Hayek, Penelope Cruz.
Yeah.
What's the...
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah,
what
Sofia Vergara.
Yes.
Like, I think that is
Sofia is, I think
I think she would be the definition of a spicy
right,
Latina.
because she dresses
she
like...
got the curves, she got the big lips, she got the hair, she got the attitude. She has an accent. Does an accent make you a spicy Latina?
I think a little bit.
Because I'm about to start kicking in my accent.
Dude, I've tried.
I think you're going to have a lot of success in the dating world.
I've tried
With
to
an accent?
Yeah, I've
Honestly,
tried.
Boys love it.
But it doesn't come naturally to me,
Same.
so it's like...
It's fine. They would never know. They would never know. You're forcing
But
it.
is it like a...
I don't know how to do a Latina accent,
I was going to say, I have like an amazing like no sabo accent, like hola.
Hola, no sabo español.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Solo
spicy that
hablo
is.
inglés.
Like, I know how to do that perfectly.
That's
but
not hot.
You asked me...
That's not sexy at all.
You asked me to do like a typical like Mexican dude. I mean, sometimes when I'm like nervous, it'll like come out here and there, you know.
Yeah.
But
I think
Is that what it is, boys? Boys that are listening, what makes us what makes Latinas spicy? Is it the
accent?
Is it the fact that we wear heels everywhere? And by we, I mean the Latina stereotype, because I do not. Look at me. I am in sweatpants 90% of the time. I keep hitting the table.
Also, your nails match the table and the microphone.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you can see this,
it's
on the
literally
camera.
the same color.
Maybe because
I painted this and did my nails.
I don't know. I can only think about curves because we not everyone.
Check. What
I
else?
guess, but I guess Latinas are known for curves.
I will say one
But
thing
for
that
black
might
girls?
make us spicy. It's like I haven't made out with a gringo.
Okay.
Like you're American, only American. Mm-hmm. I've made out with half and half. Mm-hmm. My experience.
White boys. That's your chance.
White boys. I don't know if I'm interested.
I don't know where I'm at in life right now, so don't.
So don't try. You might get a big fat no. So in Brazil, Brazilians have a very specific way of kissing. with tongue.
Okay.
Which I am assuming you guys kiss with tongue, right?
Never.
That's unheard of.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh.
We're kidding. Go.
No, but
No.
I've heard that. So because I haven't kissed...
White boys kiss with tongue too.
They do?
Yeah,
but I've heard that
absolutely.
they don't. As much as like Latinos do.
Dude, my first kiss was with a white dude
And he used a tongue.
yeah, that was my first kiss.
Okay,
It's
then-
great. Yeah, I think
Then yeah, I don't know, I just heard that it's like they
ethnicity might
kiss
not
differently.
matter as much. I feel like the lips though. The size of the lips, I don't know.
That's why I've always been like, I don't know if I want to
I will
kiss
say
you
that like
because-
most white dudes that I've kissed have had smaller lips than the ones that have more melanin. Is that the right word?
I need
in their
a
skin.
fat juicy lip.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm not lowering my standards.
Well, there are some white dudes with thick
Yeah,
lips.
I don't
though.
care.
I've made out with quite a few different ethnicities,
Lips.
if you will.
Okay.
And white boys are pretty good kissers, actually.
Really? See, I don't know that.
Like, at least, or maybe I've just gotten really lucky.
I think
But,
I've
like,
kissed more white dudes.
But it's
than
not that
any
they're
other
bad
race.
kissers.
Same.
That's not what I heard. It's just
No,
kiss
they
differently.
they are good kissers. This is bad, but my worst kisser was a Latino.
My
No
worst-
way!
Yeah, I think my worst was like he was half Latino. He was half Mexican, half white.
Oh my gosh. There's nothing worse than a bad kiss. I will die.
No, I mean, I thought everybody used tongue. I don't think it's just a Brazilian or a French thing. I think
I
it's
thought it
everybody.
was. I guess I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. So I think like maybe their expectation is, yeah, they want someone. They hear that Latinas know how to cook and clean. They're sexy. Maybe I don't know. They're more adventurous when it comes
so
to the
sexy.
yeah. Hoodie.
I hear like moving clothes.
This is my view of the world. I do think Latinas are spicy.
Because we're hotter.
Because
I do think we're hotter.
I think we just have flavor. And I think that's
what they
tasteful
Okay.
and enjoyable. But not that other cultures don't.
I just hate the stereotype of like how Latinas are like
I see where
always
you're coming
fighting and always screaming
Yeah, toxic.
and toxic because I would like to believe
the toxic,
that I am not like that.
Like I'm not.
My
Because
opinion is
white girls
jealous.
can be super toxic too. It's like
Honestly, all girls and all
yeah,
dudes
it's
can be
just-
toxic.
yeah.
Stereotypes are dumb, I think. But
But like
Yeah.
you would never think of a German girl like, oh, spicy German girl.
sorry.
Like I'm sorry, you can think attractive,
Yeah, but we don't hear it.
sexy, beautiful German. You know what I mean? But for some reason, Latinas are stuck with the
Yeah.
spicy.
I'd
We'll figure
rather
it
be
out.
stuck with the spicy than like
plain and
The
boring.
boring.
Correct.
Okay, I'll forget what I said about me being mild. I'm
medium.
I'm medium. Just because that's, yeah, I'm not super jealous. I think there was one guy I dated that he was bringing the jealousy side out of me, and I was like, nope, this is not good. I don't like how I feel when I'm jealous because I feel like my emotions are all over the place, and I literally act like a stupid biatch. So,
yeah.
nope.
Yeah, and I think boys can bring that side of you that fit the stereotype,
Yeah.
but there's also boys that will bring calmness and like confidence and security. Like,
Yeah.
so
That's what I want.
I just feel like Latinas are like labeled crazy and toxic a lot of the times because I saw somewhere that there's a research about like the men that cheat the most are Latino men.
Oh, dang.
We have to put up with more.
And I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's
Maybe because it's like also the machismo in our culture.
what it is. So like if you're
have to be
putting
crazy.
woman in a place where like you're making her crazy, then obviously we're gonna have the stereotype of crazy, but you're making them crazy.
I think
'cause
that's
you're
the
acting
answer.
dumb.
That's it.
That
That's
makes
it.
100% sense.
That's it.
I think that's it. They
That's
just...
what- and because like the machismo is so prevalent in like Latino culture. Like the man is a provider, the woman stays at home. He can go out and do whatever he wants, and like, if we leave, who provides for us?
Yeah. And we're the ones staying at home with the kids.
Right. So it's like,
So,
we have
crazy.
to put up with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so glad that that dynamic is changing.
100%.
And I will 100% make sure it changes in my life, because I won't.
Oh.
I won't put up with that.
I'd rather throw up a million.
I mean, I already am. Like, I have a career, I work. That in itself is like defining that concept of me being solely a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah. What was your biggest culture shock moving to the United States and dating?
In terms of dating?
Yeah, in terms of dating.
Well, I think you have to realize that Utah is a very unique
Correct.
place as
Correct.
well.
It's
So,
hard to compare because I feel like we would have been fine. In
maybe like
California.
Idaho and Arizona I can understand, because there is a lot of like the LDS community in those states.
Yeah.
And I think this is why we're saying that Utah is unique, because we do have a lot of foreign exchange students. BYU is a popular school, and everyone's parents wants their kids to go to BYU, right? So we find a ton of cultures here.
We do, but it's still not enough. It's still not diverse enough.
No, it's only like 5%
Yeah,
of the
crazy
students
enough,
are
it's still
different.
not like...
And so, yes, I do think we have to take into consideration that we're adding in Mormon to the mix of the dating world. And
Absolutely.
a Mormon dating world is the worst. Like, honestly, I hate it, and I
Like,
hate
we
it.
are in such a bad
But
situation.
probably the biggest, like, shock for me was that it was cool to date multiple people at the same time.
Yes.
Like,
Stacy?
literally.
Yes.
I
have
would
such
watch
a hard time with
people
that.
go on dates with different dudes and like kiss all of them and like hook up with all of them
Yes.
at the same time. And like for me, I was like, bro, what? Like,
How can your heart
handle that? Like, to me, that was
It can.
super weird. Super weird.
Yeah.
I know. I can't do it.
That's the biggest
If I've got
shock
my
of
eyes on a person,
That's it.
that's it. Like, that's it. That's and no matter how hard I try, because I've tried, I've had like been going out with someone, and I'm like, oh, I know this isn't like super solid, so I'm gonna try to date around. I couldn't. I'm like, I
Well,
can't.
but also here, like, blind dates are very strange to me. And I'm sure that they happen in Brazil too, but in my experience, I'm so much more comfortable going on a date with someone that already caught my eye, that I'm already
That you already have like an
interested in.
attachment to.
Instead of like, oh, I'm on Tinder and let me just go on a bunch of dates to see if anything works out. Like, I don't care to do that. I don't care to go meet a random person and see if it works out. I'd much rather like someone and then be excited about them asking me on a date.
Yeah,
like,
correct.
that's what I vibe with. And that's how it's always been my entire life in Brazil. I've never had to like, let me go put myself out there. Like, what is that? Like, you're just gonna go on a
nice.
bunch of dates? Like, that's that was a shocker for me too. And I know it's completely normal, and I know many people have gotten married out of that, and that's how it works, and people are happy, but it was a shocker to me. It was hard to adjust.
Yeah, I think maybe I've just been here way too long. I'm like, that's just how you date. Because, I mean, we have like school dances, right? And I think maybe you have to take into consideration how we were raised in the LDS church, saying like you can't date until you're 16, and even when you're 60 and you date, you have to date other people. Like, you can't just
Make it official.
with someone, because like you're too serious too quick, and that can be dangerous for your morals or whatever, your standards, right? So it's almost like with school dances, you go on dates, even if you're dating someone. Like, I have a boyfriend, sometimes parents would be like, you have to go like take out other girls, so you're not just always with this girl.
Yeah.
What?
So crazy
Yes.
to me.
Ew.
Like, I would see couples, like people that I knew were couples in high school, go take someone else on dates because the parents didn't want them to always be like seriously dating. So I think it's almost like, unfortunately, like, it's so normal here because maybe of like the church standards that they gave us like really early. Like, you have to date a lot.
Yeah, they're so against serious relationships.
And
early on.
And the church is big on group dates. What is it?
Yeah,
that's what they call it.
I mean,
group
we
dates?
have my grandpa, who's been in the church forever, and he's had big callings. He hates the concept of a YSA, a young single adult word. He's like, kids should be with their parents until they marry. That's old thinking too, but like that's very unique too to this. I don't know about other churches, right? I'm
Because
sure
we don't have YSA in Brazil.
Yeah, we don't have YSA in Mexico.
I think in Guate they have like a YSA group, but they go to
Like, to
church.
do activities with.
Right, but they go to church.
From like
They
the
have
different
family
wards in the area.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have group dates, we have YSAs, what
My
is it?
first
Just a bunch
boyfriend
of stuff.
gave me a ring.
A promise ring.
Yes, and that's that's something you do in Brazil. If you get into, I was 16. He was my first like serious boyfriend. He asked me to be his girlfriend with a ring. And that's what we do in Brazil. Like if you ask a girl to be your girlfriend, you give her a promise ring. And what
does that promise ring entail? Like
that you're in a relationship.
Oh.
In a serious relationship with someone. So I've had 2 rings in my life from guys, and it didn't mean I was engaged to them. It was just like, I'm committed, I'm in a relationship.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I've kind of loved it because for me, it's such a beautiful way for the guy to be like
you're mine.
And that's like as official as it gets.
As official as it gets in a relationship.
Like to marriage.
Right.
And
now
I
we don't make anything official, so.
Yeah, and granted, thinking about it now, it's like, okay, I was 16 with a ring. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about it now that I've been exposed to the American culture, but that's still very normal in Brazil. And I think it's beautiful. And it's a way of the guy to be like, hey, I'm really serious about this, you know?
Yeah.
I think it means a lot.
Yeah, I guess maybe a guy...
It wasn't a diamond ring.
Yeah.
It's a ring.
Some way... I don't know. I guess for me, I was very disappointed on my dating experience. Not like disappointed on the boyfriends that I got because all of them were actually really good guys. But like the datings in between, guys, I'm sorry, they were trash. Like there's obviously one good guy here and there, but most of them wanted, oh, do you want to go eat tacos? Do you want to go to Don Joaquin? I heard they have tacos. You're Mexican. Like they were just very like... Let's do the stereotypical things that Mexicans like because you're Mexican. And I'm like, I'm the whitest Mexican you'll ever meet. And so I think they had these expectations of me. Like, don't you know about this? I'm like, I've never heard this music. Like, they would play banda because they served a mission in Mexico. And I'd be like, I don't like banda. You know what I mean? And so I felt like really out of place because I'm like, I'm too brown for the white dudes. Or like maybe not even brown enough for the white dudes, but then I'm too white for the brown dudes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, I think that was my experience, and so I think maybe that's why I always leaned toward like the American guys because I'm like this is who I am truly.
Yeah.
And they understand my culture, and then but when I did it Polynesian, it was very comforting too that they understood where I came from. The dynamics are very similar,
but cultures,
the dating in between was just sucky because all the guys expected me to kiss them and make out with them, all that stuff.
You don't owe guys anything. Remember that.
Yeah, I wish I knew that more back then.
It's okay. Like you live.
Yeah, you live and you learn.
And like every single human on the planet, if they could go back in their early dating stages of life, like they would do things differently.
They'd be smarter.
Every single person.
We were so young.
Yeah,
what do you know?
Nobody knows.
I just tell anyone that I know that just moved to Utah and that's our age, I'll be like, listen, Utah's different. You just be patient. You don't have to say yes to every date because you will be asked on a lot of dates. Don't say yes to all, just like be more, how do I say it?
Like
just more more intentional. I don't want to say picky just because it is just a very interesting place and
but also if that's your thing and you're like, I want to go meet a bunch of people.
For sure.
Do it.
That's total. Like, there's nothing wrong here. Like, it's just, for us, I think it's just
And we're just speaking for ourselves.
Yeah, because it's our experience. Being immigrants and having to adjust to a different dating scene can be very hard. Most of the time, you're going to feel like you're doing too much or you're doing something wrong or you don't understand why the person said or did that. Like, it's confusing. It really is hard. Yeah. But there isn't like a wrong way to go about it, I don't think. If you're comfortable and you're happy and it makes sense to you, then...
Yeah, and don't let anybody ever make you feel bad for the way you do things, if that's... Yeah. Like, don't... Yeah.
Yeah, like, be who you are. If you're proud, I don't know, like, in this situation, Mexican-American, like, show who you are and not try to, hide away parts of your culture that you're embarrassed about.
Change for anyone.
No, like it's so nice with Cody. He understands every single aspect. Amazing. A big one being like family dynamic. I don't have to explain like, oh, my dad is this way because of this, or my mom's this way. He's just like typical Mexican moms, or he'll joke about it. But I'm like, he understands everything.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
That is.
It's amazing.
What was dating for you like in Guatemala?
So I moved here when I was 18, so I didn't date a ton in Guatemala, but I and again, in church, like that's who you hang out with and stuff. But I do remember that like it's like you kind of just pick one person and you get to know one person, right? And it's like going on dates means that you're essentially dating, and so it's like, oh, they went out, it's like, hey, they're boyfriend and girlfriend, like.
Otherwise, you're just friends until then, right?
Yeah, and so that was kind of just like a big difference, but yeah, I also went to like a really small private school, so it was like the boys there were just like my homies, and so
yeah, same.
Yeah,
I mean, when I was younger, I didn't date in Mexico, but yeah.
But it's funny now that like I do like keep in touch with like my friends and stuff. I'm like, I'm too white for like the Guatemalan dudes.
Yeah.
Like I'm like it's funny, we were talking about this earlier, but like it's so easy to like hang out with someone that's Latino because they know a lot of things. But it's even easier to hang out with someone that's Latino that grew up here. Yeah. So they know exactly, like...
It's the best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds. They know how transitioning into a new culture and, like, they know both aspects. That's been...
It's even better like that.
That is the best.
Because I feel like I would have a hard time dating a Brazilian that never lived here.
Yeah. We've lived too much for it to I don't know. But yes.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I think there's good in every culture. I'm not saying that we need to stay away from other cultures, right? And just like we said earlier, there's just so many great things that you can take into your life, and take out the toxic ones, because there's definitely toxic stuff in every culture. So, I don't know. I think I enjoyed, even though there are negative things, but I thoroughly enjoyed my dating time, and when it came to being like serious, when it's with the right person, it's easy. Like I didn't struggle. I never felt jealousy. I never felt anxiousness. I never felt stress. I mean, if I did, it was just maybe for some tiny things that I don't even remember. And if that happens to be someone that, because I was so sad, I'm like, Polynesian, this is where I'm at. This is where I stay. No, I'm never gonna date American or like white again. I literally thought that for the longest time. And I tried to date other Polynesian guys, and it just wasn't the same. It was almost as if like this was just my one time experience, and that was it. And it was just for me to be exposed to this new culture that I just grew to love. And that was that. That was like the end. That was a different chapter of my life that had to be put away. And then when I opened myself to, okay, like I'll start dating again. And when Cody came into my life, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to date American. Like, even my sister, she's like, I don't see you with him. I'm like, yeah, right? Like, I don't see myself with him. But it worked. It just worked. And just the way he just understood me. He never expected me to cook. If anything, he's like, I'll cook. Don't worry, you relax. I'm like, what?
What is this magic?
I know. He's like, I'll do laundry. And obviously now with the baby, we take turns, and there's definitely more things that I take responsibility of at home. But yeah, just don't close yourself off to other opportunities out there, because when it's the right time with the right guy, it's just gonna work. It's just gonna be amazing.
Right. And I think that's where we wanted to go with that, is that like no matter, like there's no right answer. There's no, oh, you should date a Latino since you're Latina, or you should date a Polynesian because they're really beautiful looking, or you like there is no right answer for who you date and who you end up with. It all is about the vibes
right person.
And the right person and the person that loves you. You love them, and you work together to build something awesome. But I think what we have to do is just be open. Be open to dating whoever, because you never know who's gonna like click with you. You never know. It might be a person from the Czech Republic. I mean, I don't think I've ever met anybody from there. But like, you never know. So yeah, I mean, do put yourself out there and like explore, because that's the point of life, to learn. And I think I look back on all the dudes I've hung out with and dated and stuff. It's like everyone has taught me something. Like sometimes like I go out with a dude and then things like either go bad or whatever, but I'm like, oh, but I learned this from him, and I learned this from him, and I learned this music, and I learned this life hack, or I learned this one thing. And it's like everybody has something to teach you, so don't like shut somebody down because they're white.
Literally, literally, my sister dated a Korean guy for a long time. It was a very serious relationship. She literally became Korean to me. Like, she started looking Korean because she was so obsessed with his culture. She fell in love.
Oh,
she started
so
watching
cute.
shows in Korean. Like,
Love
she will
that.
only make Korean food at home, and like, I loved it because
Kimbap. I love
she
it.
cooks so good. And in return, he also was obsessed with Brazil. You know, so it's like it couldn't be more distant. You know, like Korea and Brazil, like
That's
nothing
cool.
alike. But it was cute, and they were obsessed with each other's culture. You know,
Yeah,
that's
like
awesome.
it can totally work for sure. I think you just have to find the right person that's interested in the things that you are interested in.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. That's the one.
So,
I love that.
yeah. Anything else we want to add, or
I
Should
think
I
I'm
share
good
our
with
first
that.
kiss stories or no?
My first kiss went a little like this.
how does? Yeah. What is that song?
I don't know.
Ever Living.
Is
no?
that Avril Lavigne? I don't know.
Am I crazy?
My first kiss. Is it Never Shout Never? Is that...
Yeah, it was like some dude band, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I think it's Ever Living.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know.
Alright.
Okay, I'll start.
Alright,
So
tell us.
my first kiss. I'm like thinking, what if he listens
so
to this
excited for
episode?
this.
No, he won't listen to this episode because.
I don't think
Anyways,
boys listen to us.
I know boys don't care. So this guy, I really liked
Hate you,
him.
boys.
If anything, I can't. It's just like the hormonal, pubescent feeling. So you're just like, I love this person.
Correct.
You're just obsessed with them because you're a teenage
Yes.
girl. Yeah, that was me with this guy. So I'm like, I'm glad he was my first kiss because I really liked him. But then he broke my heart a million times. But my first kiss was actually really cool because me and him at the time were kind of like weirdly obsessed with Enrique Iglesias.
Daddy.
And I know this sounds so cheesy and so corny and so cringy, but we're like, let's go kiss and listen to Enrique Iglesias. Guess the song.
Hero.
Uh-huh.
My worst date involves that story. That song.
So anytime I hear that song, I'm like, oh
my gosh.
love it. But at the same time, brings back memories. But you know what? At
That
the
is
time, it was
cringe.
like amazing. This
course.
is all I ever wanted. And he didn't know it was my first kiss. I told him later, and he was like, oh, can't remember what he said. But yeah,
So it was a good kiss.
it was. He was the bishop's son.
It's always
Not
like
my
that.
bishop's son. It was like the other ward's bishop. But yeah, he freaking broke my heart to pieces. And no, it's fine. Whatever.
We still hate him.
She's
We
a better
do.
person now.
100%. And ironically enough, he served his mission in Mexico City.
Yeah.
And
They always
it's-
do.
It's always like that.
And this other guy too that I was kind of talking to, he served his mission in Mexico City too, and they were both on the mission at the same time, and they were almost like in the same area, and I was like, because they knew about each other. I was like, not that they would like. Are you talking to Carolina too? Like, no, they wouldn't say that, but it was just like, I don't want them to like see each other because I was writing to both. So
That is so funny.
I never wrote to a missionary.
I wrote to 6.
I did not.
I wrote to
6?
2.
Yeah.
Carolina?
Carolina? Ana Carolina?
But like the most, like my favorite ones were just those 2.
6?
Honestly,
I've never
writing
wrote
to the missionary is a fantasy and it's not worth your time.
Not at all.
Oh yeah, no, I stopped
Because-
writing to them like 3 months before I finished. I was like,
It's just
focused.
2 years.
Yeah, no.
And even if they're like coming home, it's like they come back. They come back and they're not what you think they are. You fall in love with the idea of him,
Right.
but he's not real.
Yeah.
Until he comes home and like becomes a real person.
I came home and he was dating my cousin. Oh, whatever.
No, that's awkward. That's awkward.
What the heck? I want to know your story.
Okay, my story.
Are we sharing ages or no?
Ages?
We can.
I was 17.
I was either 16 or 17. I cannot remember. And kind of. My first kiss, like, was kind of a half kiss. Like, so I can't really count it, but I do. Because when I was in high school, I loved one dude. Throughout, like, my 4 years of high school, I loved one guy. And
Same.
I loved
I had one love.
I had one love. And
Justin
he wasn't from the city. He was from a town. But he moved to the city to go to school. But this whole time that he was in the city, he had a girlfriend. So that's why it never could happen. Nothing ever happened because he had a girlfriend. But I loved him. And I know he liked me too because, well, I just know.
I just felt
it's kind of similar.
Yeah, I just know. And we were on some like church activity somewhere, and we like went on this like little hike, and he like held my hand the whole time, and then like at the end, he like gave me a kiss, but it wasn't like a real kiss because he had a girlfriend. So that's kind of my first kiss. But then my first kiss. First official kiss. Oh my gosh, if my mom hears this, she's gonna be like, Stacy. I had just gotten here to BYU, and we went to some festival thing, and I kissed 2 boys.
Nice.
In one night?
In like the space of an hour.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't kissed more than one.
It's because everybody you date is your boyfriend.
It's just
No, but I kissed people without dating them.
Not two in
I
a
swear
day?
that's literally like Utah County culture.
And I'm not...
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Really? Yeah, I kissed 2 boys in like an hour. And I felt crazy. I was
That's
like,
really crazy. I don't think I can do that now.
I did it.
That's a lot
I've
for
done
me.
it a few times. But they don't know. They don't know. It's funny. There's one story where I like... Actually, I can't say this. But, and those... Yeah, anyway. But then, like, a little bit after that, I started, like, hanging out with this guy, like, more frequently. Like, just him. And he was, like, my first, like, make-out. Like, make-out.
Oh, so the first kiss wasn't a make-out.
Wasn't a make-out. It was just, like... couple second kisses, you know what I mean?
Mine was a make-out.
No, my first make-out, I remember he was like, this is so stupid that I'm telling the world this. But we were like making out or whatever, and he was like, you're really good at this.
That's the best compliment.
And I literally in my head was like, bro, this is my first time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Nice.
So,
That's
yeah.
nice.
He also, bro, I can't say it. There could be too many connections. There could be too many. But basically,
that's the
I'll
end
just
of the
say
story.
it. You know what? Whatever. He said...
Say it.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
And if he hears this, he probably doesn't remember. And if his wife is listening, she's not going to know.
You're fine. You're safe.
We're safe.
On YouTube.
He said that the song Lips of an Angel was written about me.
Lips of an Angel?
By
who?
Lips of an Angel.
I've never heard that song, but that's the cutest thing in the world.
Hinder.
We'll have to look it up after.
That's going to be the background
so
of this.
Cute.
Yeah,
Yes.
Clip.
He did break my heart, of course, though. Typical.
Same. Well, not that guy,
Typical.
but I can understand.
Yeah. So that's like my first kisses.
Being like
story.
heartbroken when you're that age. Well, I guess you said you were
I was
in
18.
college, right?
I was 18,
Okay,
18,
yeah.
18,
Still
18.
suck. Like it's just so like.
It doesn't matter how old you are.
It does not matter how old
old
your heartbreak will always suck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I just feel like those early years are your hormones are just so like.
I do remember
present.
being like obsessed.
Yeah,
I
like,
was obsessed. Like
they're just so extreme.
nothing else in the world
Yeah,
mattered.
Yeah.
And it was so sad when I realized that it wasn't reciprocated. I was like,
There's
oh,
nothing
you
worse.
think about other things? Because I don't.
Dude, you're the only person I think about.
Yeah.
My first kiss was with the love of my life.
Oh my gosh.
I was in love with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It was I in high school? No, I was in high school. No, I was not. I was 13 years old, first of all. I had a crush on him for ages. Like, he was so cute. He's so ugly now. So sorry. He doesn't know that it was my first kiss, so he doesn't know that I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But
That's the
anyway,
way
so
we
we
roll.
went to a birthday party. And no, before that, it was so funny because he sent me a message on MSN. Do you know what that
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was like, hey, do you want to kiss?
Perfect.
And like,
We love a planned kiss.
no, it was very planned, and we do that in Brazil a lot. Like, you just
You plan to kiss?
Yeah, it's
I'm
like,
dead.
hey, quer ficar comigo? Like, hey, do you want to kiss?
Say that again.
Quer ficar comigo?
Que fica conmigo?
Yeah.
Que fica conmigo?
So like, guys
I'm
would
writing that
ask,
down.
like, do you want to kiss me? You know.
Uh-huh.
Que fica conmigo?
Anyway, so he sent me a message on MSN, and it broke my heart because I wasn't 16 yet, and I was always like such a good girl, and the rule in that house was like no kissing before 16, no dating before 16. I cried for days because I'm like, I cannot kiss this guy. I'm not 16 yet, and like this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Like,
were you 15?
No, I was 13 when he asked me, but I wasn't 16 yet, so I was really sad.
You're like, I gotta wait 3 years.
No, I literally had the message and I started sobbing. I'm like, this is all I ever wanted, like, and I can't do it, otherwise I'm gonna get in trouble. Like, it was the end of the world.
I'm dead.
I did it anyway. So we went to a party, and we went into this darker room. Like, he took me there with his friend, like his best friend, and his best friend was just in the corner, like.
Watching.
I don't know why he was there.
We do weird things.
And so, like, it was so dark, I couldn't see his face. So, that was my first kiss, but I don't actually know if I kissed his lip.
No.
Until
what
this day,
else
I have
nose?
no idea. I literally just, I went for it, and, like, it was just a kiss. And I was like, we're done. That's it?
Oh,
okay.
Anticlimactic.
And then we just like walked out and never talked to each other again.
No.
Ever.
So after that kiss, you guys never talked?
Ever.
It was just so awkward.
And
I'm like, is he not gonna like,
life.
huh?
And he was the love of your life.
Yeah, but
that didn't last very long. She was 13.
he didn't like me though. Like he wanted to kiss
but he
me.
que fica conmigo
Yeah,
to you.
no, but he didn't like. He didn't like care about me. I think he just found out I liked him a lot. He was like, oh, I could kiss a pretty girl.
Yeah, opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. So it was the most because I was expecting him to like grab me or like hold my hand
like
or
the
like
movies.
Like put his hand on my neck.
Never like the movies.
Dehire. Or how do you say it?
Dehire.
Dehire. Molto bene.
No. I'm gonna have to take you to prison so you can get some common sense. So
I think was it molto bene? It's like
muito
very
bem.
good.
Muito bom.
Molto bom.
Que fica
So
conmigo.
I was just I was expecting some kind of like holding.
Gesture. Yeah.
No, it was just like that's all I got, and I'm like, I don't know if that was a kiss. And then I for a long time I was like, you know what? I probably didn't kiss his lip. Like I don't know, and I'm so embarrassed to ask. I'm 13. Like I don't even know how to talk about this. So, like I just forgot it happened, and in my brain I was like, I told myself that wasn't a kiss. That didn't happen. So then when I turned 15. I had my first official kiss that made a lot of sense. And it was just like this random guy at a quinceañera party.
Nice.
That was there. He kept like following me the whole party. Just like, where's Desi? Like he just wanted to talk to me the whole time. I don't know his name. Never asked. It was just the most awkward thing. He like wanted to kiss me. He like tried to kiss me a bunch of times at the party. And then like after the party was over, we were walking out as everyone else was leaving as well. And he just grabbed me and kissed me. And I let him. And then, like, we made out in front of all of my friends' parents.
Oh, man.
They were all
parents?
Parents. They were there. I opened my eyes because I'm like, am I supposed to close my eyes when I kiss? I don't know. But I closed my eyes, but then I opened them a little bit. And I had 2 friends on each side taking pictures.
Oh, my gosh.
And filming it. Like, they got a video of my first official makeout.
You need to find those videos.
I disowned that friend. I was like, you don't do that. That's the most, like, that was so embarrassing. Yeah. It was already such a public kiss. It was in front of everyone.
Yes.
Everyone knew that was my first kiss. Because, like, my friends were screaming in the background, like, that is her first kiss! Like, she's kissing someone in front of everyone! Like, she's crazy. And I had people around me taking pictures of my first makeout.
That's
traumatizing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what his name is. I never saw him again.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It was kind of fun.
Okay.
But like, I was mad at my
regrets.
friend at the time for filming because I was like, you don't do that.
Like, no.
But it was, looking back now, it's like hilarious. It's kind of funny.
It's a fun story.
And I'm kind of glad it was with someone that I like could never talk to again because I was like, I don't know if that was good or bad, but I would never know. And I'm moving on.
So you still never found out who they were?
No. I moved on with my life.
Have you made out with strangers?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I didn't have time to ask his name.
Stacey, do you know me? Just kidding. That's horrible.
Yeah, no, sometimes
and it was
just
the
happens.
rush of like so many people watching me. I was just like, we were done, and I was like, bye. I left.
One time I kissed this BYU tennis player from New Jersey. White dude with curly hair.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love curly hair.
It was just like...
Oh, but he was a stranger.
Yeah, I met him at a party. And then he's like...
But you knew his name?
I don't remember his name. I knew it for Shane, I think his name was.
Oh, you asked his name.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways. It happens.
I think I have the weirdest, story from my first kiss.
I have some pretty weird stories, too, I guess.
Now, though, this is kind of funny. The dude that I loved in high school, that wasn't, it was, my first half-ish, whatever. We reconnected, and then I kissed him again. For real.
Aww, I love that for you.
10 years later.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
See, I would never kiss any guy I've ever kissed. It was not worth it to me.
You wouldn't kiss any guy you've kissed before? Oh, there's 3 dudes that I'm whenever they want.
Okay, there's 2 guys that I would kiss again. But
that's it. There's, yeah, I don't know. Oh, kissing's weird. Don't do it.
I don't know, but
boys have cooties. That's what I have to say at school. Boys have cooties.
I will try to get my first gringo kiss.
We have to find you a good one.
Some white dudes are really good kissers. I think some of my best kisses have been white dudes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyways, kind of a longer episode, but I think we covered some interesting, fun points regarding dating and our experiences, so we hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think we're going to talk about dating.
And good luck.
Because there's so much.
Oh, yeah, this is not the last episode. We'll talk about dating.
There's so much. And my phone didn't die.
Nice.
At 2% this whole time.
There you go. All right, well, friends, thank you so much for joining us. And I don't know if we have, officially made an announcement, but we are releasing episodes on Thursdays now. We decided to switch it from Wednesday to Thursday just because Thursdays are the best day of the week. They're my favorite day of the week. So
it's almost like weekend.
Yeah, it's the hopeful day of the week. It's okay, we've made it this far.
One more day.
So on Thursdays when you're feeling awesome, you're it's almost Friday, think of us and listen to us because life is good and we can hopefully remind you of that on a Thursday. All right, thanks for joining us and we will see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
And join us next week for our next episode.